Good morning, everyone. Ohayou gozaimasu. Welcome to this family service. Hope you're all getting a little more accustomed to finding the link, and maybe some of you have been able to get some assistance to connect to the links and to have everything prepared. We're trying to get all the items that we need for each service beforehand, so you can pull them out or get them printed off, and so you're ready for service. And I hope you have decorated your own onaijin to some degree, maybe fresh fruits up there, or obokpan, rice offering, bagel, donut, something. If you look here today, we have the Fujimoto horses here up on the podium. We actually have 4 horses, and Shadow is more independent on her own. These 3 little guys are a little more tag along, and they join us sometimes when we're able to, so they can be with us basically. And if you look closely, the older one has his mask on, and everyone has their gloves on, reminding us to continue to be careful and safe. This is also practice of compassion, as we not only look out for our own safety, but also the safety of the people we share our lives with. So they're continuing to wear their masks and gloves and being very careful about it. Of course, they have their onenju, so they are ready for service. If you want to look across the way, on the other side of the Hondo, the Sloth family is still there, much closer to the door. As you know, sloths are very, very slow. So they are getting closer and closer to the door, trying to make their way to their next appointment. But they're still here, mom and dad and baby. Baby's kind of playing around over there a little bit, but they all have their own enju as well. And you might see them waving. They're waving to you, welcoming you to the service for today. So for today's service, we'll have the reading of the Golden Chain, and then the Rai Son Mon. Then I'll take my seat up on the altar again, and we'll chant the Sanbujo and the Juseigei. This is Terao's favorite Juseigei. She reads it by memory. So she doesn't need the book. She can close her eyes and chant along, and probably most of us can do the same, right? So with that, we will begin our service. Please join me for the 3 treasures. Golden Chain. I am a link in Amida's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I will keep my link bright and strong. I will be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will think pure and beautiful thoughts, say pure and beautiful words, and do pure and beautiful deeds. May every link in Amida's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Rai Son Mon. Ninjin ukegatashi imasure ni uku. Buppo kikigatashi imasure ni kiku. Konomi konjo ni mukatte dosezumba. Sarani izure no sho ni mukatte kakonomi o dosen. Daishu morotomo ni shishin ni sambo ni kieshi tatematsuru beshi. Mizukara butsu ni kieshi tatematsuru. Asani negawakuba shujo to tomo ni daido taige shite mujoi o kosan. Mizukara ho ni kieshi tatematsuru. Asani negawakuba shujo to tomo ni fukaku kyouzo ni irite chie umi no gotoku naran. Mizukara so ni kieshi tatematsuru. Asani negawakuba shujo to tomo ni Daishu o tori shite issai muge naran. Mujo jinjin mimyo no ho wa 100,000 万号にも愛をことかたし、我今検問し従事することを得たり、願わくは如来の真実義を消し立てまつらん。 Nam Mô A Di Đà Phật. Nam Mô A Di Đà Phật. Nam Mô A Di Đà Phật. Nam Anda, Nam Anda, Nam Anda, Nam Anda, Nam Anda. Sanbujo Juseigei. Namanda, 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 Namanda. 教未証門政府上小学利欲人少年上映宗門業四具無常道一生天人師人力縁大公不傷無才能少女三苦名交際集約難会一英言別紙根門永息小悪道自然前修門高僧上満足異様老実法日願修十期天候不言一種解放像公正六法上大集中説法四宿供養一切物無足修徳本観念心上満徳一三概要両分無下知自然未不詳感覚営力投資最小損志願役効果大聖の感動国書天人当珍妙形Silent meditation. Namanda, 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 Namanda. Good morning once again. Thank you for being here at this service. You might notice we had a little incident here that sometimes in the Dharma school when brothers sit next to each other, they start playing around. So little one got poked in the eye, and his brother's a little bit sorry for causing trouble at the temple, but we shouldn't really mess around at the temple and try to be on our best behavior, right? So even the Fujimoto horses sometimes make trouble for themselves and for each other, so we want to watch out for that, right? So for today's service, I have one of the hymns of the Pure Land by Shinran Shonin, so please join me in Gassho. Those who reach the Pure Land of Happiness return to this evil world of the 5 defilements, or like the Buddha Shakyamuni, they benefit sentient beings without limit. Namanda, 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 Namanda. So in this wasan, Shinran Shonin is writing about those who reach the Pure Land, returning to this world, and to help, like Shakyamuni Buddha, helping all sentient beings and endlessly helping them. So often you will hear about describing the Pure Land, and it is said that when you get to the Pure Land, no one is there, because when you get to the Pure Land, everyone immediately wants to return to this world to help each other, help others to also attain the Pure Land. So no one is sitting there enjoying such a peaceful setting, but they arrive at the Pure Land and return immediately to share in the compassionate helping of all other sentient beings. And so this is kind of the Bodhisattva ideal of this continuation to seek the Pure Land, but not to rest there like it's some kind of reward or award, but to attain that and then to become the compassion that helps other people to attain this Pure Land. So this is something that we recognize in the Buddhist teachings. And so these days, when we look at the pain in our society, we look at the causes of how this came to be. How did it happen? And many of us, Shin Buddhism is a Japanese-American Buddhist temple coming from Japan with the first immigrants to come to America. And in this process of coming to America, trying to gain footing in this society, a new society, and the pioneers, our grandfathers or great-grandfathers now came over here, and they faced a lot of the same prejudice that the Black Americans have faced for years and centuries. And so that was also directed to the Japanese American here. And so we can understand this pain, and we should be able to recognize it and to come into our own memories and the reflections of our parents and grandparents. And so this should be something that is close to us. So we recognize this prejudice that caused many of us to be sent to camp and things of this nature. We have the 442nd and honored troops that were serving in the war to support the American society, and they gained awards for their bravery and what they were able to accomplish. And they were not the only. They had black soldier regiments that served tremendously for the American Army. And so this is done often, and minorities were put together to serve together, and in a sense it is because they were considered expendable, that if they should be lost during the time of battle, it's okay because they are minorities. They're a little bit expendable, so they were put into difficult situations, and if they were to die, that's the price of war. And so this is another kind of prejudice that was directed towards Japanese Americans and other races and things of this nature. And so we see this happen by the dominant society towards others and keeping them as others. And so this is something that we see repeated and repeated, and to have it go on for centuries causes a tremendous pain. And as Japanese Americans in this country, we should be closer to that, to be able to recognize that, and to be able to understand and to have feeling and awareness of what they are going through as Black Americans. And then, but now as our temples have evolved, we have many people who are not only Japanese American, all different cultures, coming from so many different traditions, transplanted into this Shin Buddhist tradition. And so some of them through intermarriage, some just through interest, some people just happening upon Buddhism. Buddhism is much more mainstream now, not so strange and exotic as it may have been 30, 40 years ago. So many people have interest and come to our temples, and for them as well, just to be learning about Buddhism and the practice of compassion. Here we talk about receiving endless compassion being provided to us by Amida Buddha. And Amida is not a deity, but in a sense, the infinite reality is providing, giving to us at all times, and we are receiving this compassion coming towards us. And so this same compassion we share to live our lives in harmony with others. We share the same compassion. We receive it and we share it with others. And so the shared compassion becomes a basis of life, okay? And then as we lose this life, we become a part of this compassion. So first we receive compassion, and then we share compassion, and ultimately we become compassion. We become the compassion of Amida. There's no distinction of this and all else, Amida, okay? And so this is kind of a process that we come to recognize in Buddhism, first receiving, sharing, becoming compassion. And so this, we can recognize the pain that is going through our society now. As Buddhists, we recognize it in a certain way. As Japanese Americans, and knowing what our relatives or our fellow Sangha members have gone through, maybe we're a little bit closer to this sometimes very blatant prejudice that is here in our society, not only our society, but clearly in our society. And so we don't want to turn away from it. We want to look at it directly and learn from it and see what we can do about it, okay? So all these things are a part of this compassion that we could perhaps see reflections of in this Wasan. So I would like to close by reading this Wasan once again. Please join me in Gassho. Those who reach the pure land of happiness return to this evil world of the 5 defilements, where, like the Buddha Shakyamuni, they benefit sentient beings without limit. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda, 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 Namanda. Thank you for joining us for this week's service. Please come up in Oshoko here at your own homes, whatever you have set up. I would like to remind you that next week, normally we don't have service during the 4th of July, and usually we are, last few years we've had kind of a barbecue and appreciation for everyone who helped at the bazaar, and we didn't have the bazaar, so we're not having the barbecue, but we will have this service provided to you, so click in next week and we'll have another service for you, okay? So please take care. Thank you for being here.
Namandab, 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 Namandab.